But she'll have no part of this. I'd like to welcome everyone to the DeKalb Planning and Zoning Commission meeting this January 3rd of 2022. Let's begin with a roll call, if we will.
Becker, O'Flaherty,
Here.
McMahon, Pena Graham, Stoker,
Here.
Wright,
Here.
Chair Maxwell.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. I'll ask if there are any additions or deletions to the agenda for this evening. If not, I will ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Wright,
Second.
seconded by O'Flaherty. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passed. I will ask for an approval from the December 20th, 21 minutes, if there are any additions or deletions. If not, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Stoker,
Second.
seconded by Wright. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. This is the public participation part of the meeting. If anyone has anything that they'd like to speak to that is not on the agenda, you may step forward and with your name and address. If not, we will move to new business. Tonight we have a public hearing, a petition by Equity Trust Company, custodian FBO Mary, and I'm going to apologize, I'm going to butcher this. This is Zaviersden. Thank you. IRA, represented by Betty Sheddock, for approval of the rezoning of 1421 East Lincoln Highway from the LC Light Commercial District to the SFR2 Single Family Residential District. And I will have a report by, would you like to speak? Please forward. Please state your name and address.
I'm Betty Shattuck, and I live at 350 Pleasant Road in Dunwoody, Illinois. So it was a nice drive up there. Do I need to wear my mask for this?
If it, you can remove it, speaking.
It's either remove my glasses or remove my mask.
Yeah, good. Just,
That's okay.
Get the mic down.
you're far enough away from everyone.
Yeah. Just talk louder, we can hear, yeah.
Okay. Thank you all for coming out tonight. I know there's better things to be doing. I'll keep this as short as I can. I represent, the seller of 1421 East Lincoln Highway. And she resides in Florida, so she can't meet her. But I listed this property in October, at the beginning of October, and we were lucky enough to find a buyer, in Regina Schneider and her family, and we went under contract very quickly. Around about October 25th, we had an appraisal done by her lender. And around November 1st, we learned that the appraisal could not be completed because the property is zoned light commercial. And my seller wasn't aware of that, and neither were the buyers at that point. So this was all news to us. And they couldn't, so as a result, being light commercial, it couldn't appraise with this lender. And the lender could no longer provide a mortgage for the property. So after a lot of searching and a lot of hard work with the Schneiders and their lender and real estate agent, they found another lending company that thought they could process a loan for this light commercial with residential use. But around November 15th, we had the second appraisal. And that concluded in a commercial appraisal of the property. The appraiser couldn't appraise it as residential, and as a result, the investors for that mortgage wouldn't follow through. So then we were kind of put in limbo around the middle of November. And what they were telling us is that if you can have it rezoned to the single-family residence, which is what it has always been used for, that we could possibly, they would process a loan so that we could proceed and close with the property. So about that time, we were supposed to be closing, but it didn't happen, and now we're in January, going through this process. And some of the questions that I addressed in the application, it asks if the proposed zoning would be within the city's comprehensive plan. Well, we've learned that it is in the East Lincoln Highway Corridor Plan for a strip of those properties to be residential. And those are the dark gray area on the north side of East Lincoln Highway. Which you can see right here, and that's.
Yeah, I can point.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, just stay in the mic, Betty, and I can point.
Okay.
So we can pick it up.
I might need my glasses now. Another
You can pull
question-
your mask down a little bit if it's fogging up on you. You're
Yeah,
far
it's
enough
killing
away
me.
from everyone.
Another question we answered with the petition application is, how may the proposed zoning impact adjacent existing and future land uses? It really wouldn't affect the commercial or industrial properties on the south side of Lincoln Highway. Those are much bigger entities, and they're just going to go with, what they have, and it's not going to matter to them what happens on the other side of the street. I put together a spreadsheet that's in your packet that I call the 14 focus properties. And those are the properties that are on the north strip of East Lincoln Highway that have this light commercial zoning. And I kind of did a little research to find out what these properties entailed. Most of them are residential. There are a few that are being used as a commercial use. Many of these residential are homeowner and senior properties, as I went through the records and found what types of exemptions they have on the property taxes. They are, modest properties. And for those that are a mix on the north side of Lincoln Highway, we're really only asking for this one property to have a change. And that change won't really affect the other properties because they're still open to use those properties as residences or commercial properties at this point in time. The other 116 residential to the north, I'm sure they're not tremendously affected, but I think that they would feel that if they kept a little more residential right on Lincoln Highway, it would buffer their homes and help their values. Another question that was answered, that needed to be answered, was how many of the proposed zoning impact adjacent property values? How many of the proposed zoning impact adjacent property values? And I've already talked about that a little bit. Another point to be made there is that the commercial hasn't really developed along that corridor. It's kind of been lagging in catching up to that light commercial zoning. But what we have found is that with residential properties being in such high demand and having very little inventory of homes, those residential values are increasing every year. And keeping it residential will keep a stronger value on that, on the street, in a price range where we have so many that are looking for affordable homes and are having just such a tough time. So my point there is, because we can't get a residential mortgage, that's actually pulling the value down in that area. And if we could sell it as a residential property, it would keep the property value higher at this point in time, the way the market is. Another question was, how may the proposed zoning change impact the general public's health and safety and welfare? The zoning change would continue to provide just light residential traffic, as it has been forever, from that property. To have light commercial traffic there would be very difficult for this particular property. There's only room for like one car to pull in off of Lincoln Highway, or 2 or 3 if you take up the front yard. There's 6 to 8 feet on either side of the structure that doesn't lend itself to driving around the property and creating parking in the back for light commercial. So in that way, this one, unless this becomes a part of some bigger project, it doesn't lend itself to commercial from a safety standpoint. Beyond the traffic issue, and I think this is very important, especially in this case, for the health and welfare of that light commercial, those residences that are zoned light commercial, their values are being diminished as the financial welfare of the owners is being eroded. If they can't sell with mortgages, meaning they can only sell as light commercial, and they've never been light commercial, they're going to sell for less. And I think that if we allow them to go residential, those values will remain strong. They'll remain strong for the neighboring properties, and they'll continue. So I think that there's a financial welfare issue for the owners in that area. And once they can sell them for what the market is showing in a residential area, and they can actually get loans on these properties, they can keep them safer and keep them in better shape than they are right now. Okay, and that's what I have for you. Do you have any questions?
I don't. I think you've illustrated it very well. Anyone else? Jan, did you want
Sure.
to do a staff?
Yeah, you have a staff report in your packet. Mrs. Shattuck went through the background of the request relating to the owner wanting to sell the property and the potential buyer's lender requesting the zoning of the property match the existing use on the property. So we're getting a lot of this where the lender's a little more strict. They want for legal non-conforming uses, want the zoning to match the use because the non-conforming standards require that if a property building on there is destroyed or damaged beyond 50% of its value, it only can be reconstructed per the underlying zoning, meaning if the home was destroyed, it only could be built per the light commercial standards, which doesn't allow a single-family home as a permitted or conditional use. And constructing a commercial operation on the lot would be very difficult due to the size of the lot's very small and wouldn't have enough room for parking and setbacks, stormwater, landscaping requirements we do require. So, yeah, that area, I put a zoning map in your, so you can see the house there, and this is a survey showing the home on the lot. That's the home there. That's the zoning map. The light commercial is the pink color here, all along East Lincoln. That's been that way for at least into the 70s. It's been there for quite a long time, and I don't know the background of it, but I assume there was a intent to allow, commercial uses along there to develop over time, which really hasn't occurred. I think there was one next door, from what I've been told or heard, that's no longer there. It was something related to boat repair or something, but And they're single-family to the north, of course, and you have a commercial and industrial south of the subject site. So, in dealing with the applicant, they decided mutually that they should try to rezone that to single-family. So when we do that, we look at the comp plan. And the comp plan approved in 2005, and then there was a corridor plan, East Lincoln Highway, from 2005 also. Approved about the same time, a little bit after. The comp plan shows commercial there, but the East Lincoln Highway plan did show mixed residential. That's what the MR means. And you can see this is the general location of the subject site here. This is all medium residential, and actually I provided some text in your packet too. It was be too hard to see on the screen, but this Dodge Avenue addition is what it's called, kind of called for, pretty ambitious for the city. I guess there's some stormwater issues out here and other things about the city purchasing properties over time and developing a mix of apartments, townhomes, and single family, which obviously didn't happen. But so the land use plan for that corridor did call for residential here. And I think it's just, as mentioned, the zoning of single family won't hurt adjacent properties. The zoning's only for this subject site. The adjoining properties could certainly do like commercial uses, as long as they met the standards with parking and setbacks. It probably would require some consolidation of lots if that ever did happen. But so the rezoning standards, which the applicant kind of went through, the comp plan calls for looking at the corridor plan. East Lincoln recommends mixed residential. And the lights LC zoning classification has been placed for several decades, but nothing's really materialized from that zoning. And as mentioned, the LC district would be very hard under that to rebuild anything commercially here due to the size of the lot and meeting all the zoning setback standards. It should not have a detrimental effect on the surrounding area. Again, the rezoning's only for this site. The other sites can maintain their LC standards. No problem with that. You have commercial uses on the south side, single family all along the north side here for the most part, certainly between the two blocks. So pretty much, as you see out there, nothing will really change. For public input, we did get 4 pieces of correspondence, emails or citizen response forms that were sent out. To summarize those, and I did do up an aerial showing where they are located, just to help out. That was in your packet too. The Petersons at 1415 East Lincoln, directly west of the site, noted concern about this, no support, concerned about if the zoning's approved, it would hinder the opportunity to have commercial on their property. I did talk to Mrs. Peterson, gave the background of the request, and the zoning on their site would not be affected, but they had just a concern about not doing like commercial. I said they can do that if they met all the standards. So directly west of them at 1409 East Lincoln, Ron Klarner submitted a form. Also noted no support. I did speak to him, noted the background of the request, and there'd be no effect on his zoning or his property or his taxes. Once he understood the request, he did indicate no issue with the proposal. Then we got 2 letters of support. Stephen Cheney, 118 Holly, just in the northeast of there, and Proven Winners Realty, that's the Penn's Point Market, just down the street. That owner indicating support for the proposal. So we believe the rezoning request is valid, and we recommend approval. It will allow the existing use on the site to be in conformance with the UDO and the sale to go through, and the subject lot under LC zoning is this not conducive to any type of development due to the required setbacks and parking requirements. So this is probably an area that we probably could address, probably should in the upcoming comp plan update. Probably need to take a look at this area and maybe have some different ideas of direction of where that should go. So we recommend approval. There's a sample motion prepared for you that recommends the rezoning from light commercial to single-family residential.
Thank you. Any questions from the commission?
That's just one, the appraisal, the effect on the appraisal as a light commercial and residential, what's the difference? What would the,
I'd say it's about 10% less than the list value of 85,000 is what those appraisals are coming in at. Yeah, yeah.
okay.
So if we couldn't take this to single family and had to put it back on the market as a commercial property, I think it would be a struggle
Yeah.
to find someone that, you know, has in and out traffic of only one or two cars and, you know, and then does the building even suit the use? Yeah.
Dan, you said the last transaction on this was back in the 70s?
No, 2015
Oh, okay.
2015
is when the current owners bought it.
Is
yes.
when the current owner bought it.
And I would just note too, I mean, our ordinance requires the property can be sold and city had nothing to do with it and just continue as probably several of those homes along there have sold over the years and they can continue that way. There's legal non-conforming, but with this particular lender, they wanted it zoned properly per the use on the site.
And that wasn't the only lender. I mean, you know better how many.
Most lenders we've talked to, I'm Kathy Hammonds, Global Banker Real Estate, who runs their buyer's agent. Most lenders we talked to.
Kathy, could you
I'm
come
sorry,
up
could you
to-
step up to the podium?
Yeah, so we can get you on tape.
Sorry about that. Kathy Hammonds with Global Banker Real Estate Group. I represent Regina and her husband to purchase this property. We checked with several lenders, and I did talk with others. They won't give a loan because it can't be, if any damage was done to it, they would not be able to rebuild, and they would be without a house. So nobody's going to take a chance on that. So this house has always been used as a home, never as commercial. So we are respectfully requesting that this be rezoned so they can have their first house. They've had quite a time, so thank you for your time.
Thank you.
This is my other one too?
Oh, yeah.
I did.
So I had a question. So has this always been zoned light commercial, or was it changed in 2005 when it looked like the city wanted to buy these?
No, it's been zoned light commercial that whole stretch. Last zoning map I saw we had record of was 79, so it was zoned light commercial that whole area since then.
Okay, so then but I was confused because in the packet, there, it looked like it was dated 2005. There was plans to build.
There was a corridor plan, that's not zoning, that was a recommendation of land use, that it be mixed residential.
But things have been sold since then and the city's never bought it.
No, it's not come to the city's attention, we're not aware of real estate transaction, they don't come through the city, they
Okay.
don't need our approval. It doesn't require conformance with the UDO once the property is sold, but with this particular lender, and we're seeing more of this where they're more strict about it, they want it, so if it is destroyed, it can be built to what was there before, so. But the zoning is light commercial has been there for several decades, yeah.
The map you provided was just from the last comprehensive plan, correct?
Yeah, 2005 was the last one.
So it was intent. Okay, no other questions? Okay, with that, I will ask for a motion to
We
approve.
should ask for, if there's anybody else in the audience?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Want to speak?
Is there anyone else that would like to speak to this topic?
Yeah, I would.
Oh, please come forward, state your name and your address.
Joseph Holm, 1427 East Lincoln Highway, next to the property here. I guess I bought this house 30 years ago, and I got a residential loan. I understand things change, the way things are, they change a lot over time. I guess my only thought about the whole thing is being next to the state road with snow removal and everything. Generally, the city, I believe, contracts somebody to come down and clear the walks and all. If it would go to a residential, would they still do that, or would I be responsible for having to clean that heavy, wet, blocky, icy snow off that sidewalk?
That's a
The
valid
snow
question.
removal situation would not change, yeah. Whoever's responsible now would still do that, yeah, it wouldn't change.
Okay. All right, thanks, that's all I had really to say.
Thank you. Valid question. Anyone else? Okay, with that, I will ask for a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion. Based on the submitted petition and testimony presented, I move the Planning and Zoning Commission forward its findings of fact and recommend to the City Council approval of the rezoning of subject site at 1421 East Lincoln Highway from the Light Commercial District to the SFR2 Single Family Residential District.
So motion by Flaherty,
Second.
seconded by Wright. Can I get a roll call, please?
Becker? O'Flaherty?
Yes.
McMahon? Pena Graham? Stoker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Chair Maxwell?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Amen.
Well, we're happy to have you have your first home here.
Thank you so much. We've been here for 12 years and
Wonderful.
finally wanted to be home.
Yeah.
Dogs appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
You're very welcome. We'll move to the staff report.
A happy new year, Commission. Thanks all your work last year. Looking forward to 2022. Our next meeting is Tuesday. It's a Tuesday because of the holiday on the 17th. Tuesday, January 18th, we have one hearing, which you were sent a link to. Pappas Development like to do another executive suites building at Barbara Green Road at County Farm, 61 units, so involves actually an annexation of part of it and rezoning and preliminary plan approval. So that hearing will be on the 18th.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, if there's nothing else, then I will ask for a motion to close.
So move.
Moved by Mr. Wright,
Second.
seconded by Stoker. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Thank you very much and have a wonderful night.